Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. We got our MTV The Challenge Vendettas episode 9 recap coming up in just a second. And we got Mr. Leroy Garrett calling in to join us. So make sure you stay with us in just a second.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Little early. We all got to embrace our inner basket case for Marie tonight here.
Yes.
R.I.P. Marie's Challenge Vendetta experience.
We love
gone
you,
too
Marie.
soon. Another one gone too soon. Her and Melissa out of here.
And V with the
V
no
with
fanfare.
the finger. Sylvia getting sick. Everyone's just out of here.
I don't know. Bananas might be poisoning them.
You think?
Maybe.
Probably. I mean, first the notes. Why hold back? Why not just jump straight into poison? Something. That's a fierce allegation, Pam.
Well.
So,
you know what?
Bananas is lucky that you were not here when he was here in person last time.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome into AFTERBUZZ TV, episode 9, The Challenge Vendettas. This is basket of deplorables that we got going on in reference to Hillary Clinton last year. Quiz time. Do you know what basket of deplorable means?
I know what the deplorables means, but basket of deplorables.
This was
and
something that
to...
she said in a fundraiser speech about Trump supporters.
But
that's all. This is not a political show, so that's all we're gonna say on that. But that's what that reference is. Welcome in, guys. I'm your host tonight, Jenna Bussiere. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere. We got Pam in studio, and we got Leroy, who's gonna call in about 20 minutes. So we're gonna break down this whole episode. Pam, where are you at? Where can they find you on social media?
Thanks, Jenna. My name is Pamela Gross, and you can find me all over at Pamela Gross Joe.
Woo! We're so excited we got Leroy coming in, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's rip through some of this episode. First, we have the basket case elimination with Marie and Kayla. Hysterical. I actually appreciated this. I found the humor in it. I could see if people were maybe let down because it wasn't the most exciting, endurance impacted challenge, but this was funny to watch.
This was great, and I thought that Marie was a shoo-in to win a puzzle challenge. So I was like, it doesn't matter who they put in because Marie's gonna beat anyone that they put against her of the options that they put forward. So I was really surprised, and I hate to spoiler alert, but hopefully you've already seen the show now. But I think TJ was right. It seemed like she just sort of quit. It's like it couldn't have been that. I mean, I'm sure it was very difficult, but I feel like she could have. She just got the wind knocked out of her sails. She was hurt, and she just didn't have her heart in it.
I wasn't in the basket, so I can't comment on how hard it was to actually break out of, but Kayla seemed to break out easily enough, and she's got a little bit less weight on her than Marie. You think that Marie should be able to just kick open the basket door. I don't know if it's giving up. I think Marie is the type of person who doesn't take herself too seriously, which isn't great from a competitor sense, but in this case, she's probably like, here we are rolling around in a basket. This is kind of ridiculous that I'm doing this. She just didn't have the same fight, the fire in her that Kayla did.
I agree. I also think, when something happens to you and you kind of get hurt and you can't get your mojo back. I think she genuinely, you could see her and Jemmy sort of fighting during that negotiation-ish thing, and then she seemed genuinely hurt by Cam. Again, for her, as not a super physical, taking herself that seriously in this, I do think she takes her friendships and alliances seriously. So I think that really upset her, and then to, again, go against who was one of her best friends, and just
kind of deflated her energy.
Yeah,
actually, that's a really good point. I actually really agree with that. But either way, hysterical. I love that Kayla breaks out. You see her rush to the puzzle, and Marie, they just do a wide shot, and Marie is just still rolling around there, completely embarrassing herself inside that basket.
Just one shoe out the door and saying her foot's stuck, and it's like, what's it stuck on? It's just out the basket lid.
Doing the walk of shame, as Zach said, comes out, hair a mess, one shoe off. That's a pretty epitome of a picture of Marie.
Right.
Is the way we see her just looking like a hot, crazy mess, but we love her anyway.
Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit because the elimination wasn't insane, but the politics before the elimination were heavy.
Yes.
So Cam, as we see at the last week's challenge, the losing team, Cam says Marie's name rather than Jemmy's, which Marie is pissed about. Now Kayla doesn't know if Marie and Kayla can trust Cam. They're all best friends. They're all in an alliance. But in my opinion, I think this is what Cam had to do, right? If she had said Jemmy's name, it would have tied it up. It would have given the winning team the power, probably to throw Cam back in because she won last week and was all in her Queen Cam throne, but they're very pissed at her decision to throw Marie. But I think that's honestly was her only option at this point. She would have put herself with the target on her back to go into elimination.
I don't think the target on her back was affected one way or the other by if she picked Jemmy or Marie. You don't want to tie it up, so I get what she did, but her chances of going into the elimination were exactly the same based on, I don't know how that shook out. Like, it didn't, Jemmy or Marie, Cam was still an option to go into whoever of those two were chosen automatically. So, again, I'm glad she didn't tie it up. It just stinks the way, I mean, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree with her gameplay in that moment as well. And it does stink.
It's pulling apart the Dolphins. Team Dolphins are falling apart left and right. First, Sylvia leaves. She's sick.
Yeah.
Now everyone's throwing each other's their alliances into elimination. So the Troika gets together, which we have Natalie, Bananas, and Nelson.
Yeah.
Which I feel bad for Nelson already going into this, because being in a Troika room where you're voting people for elimination with Natalie and Bananas, who are so headstrong and both have this alliance together, so fully have each other's back, I think he wanted to get his vote in and his word in by saying Car Maria, which I think, why should Natalie and Bananas run that entire Troika nomination process? I get that he wanted to get his vote in, but you think it was wrong that he said Car Maria's name.
I think that for him having his, okay, so let me backtrack. First of all, I think it should have been, this is why I think it's crappy. I think that it's jerky because she was on the winning team. She got the grenade. It's just, it's just crappy. Again, all is fair. I don't think it was a horrible disservice. And I think Nelson was very cool during the, Troika deliberation when he said, look, the reason you're here, Cara, is me. These people didn't put you here. You're not going to go in. You said my name before. You don't have my back. That's why you're here. I thought that was cool because then she sort of doesn't have to sweat it out. But to have your whole team, it's a 4-person team. 3 of them are the Troika and you're in the vote is, I don't think it's really fair. She was on the winning team. Again, fair schmear. It's a challenge. Second, I do think it's weird. It could have been Nicole, Kayla, and Cam.
Right.
I don't know why that didn't happen. That's
because
where it's like,
Nelson, that was his one thing. He said Cam saved me from going in. She picked Brad, which he doesn't realize was a part of Cam and Marie's bigger game plan.
Right.
That Nelson was just kind of there because he was there. If Brad was on their losing team, Brad was going in no matter who the other guy was. But he said I have to have Cam's back for not throwing me in and her throwing in Brad into elimination instead. So I think that that's a valid point.
I do too. I think that potentially, and I don't know if there's things we didn't see that happened behind the scenes, but I don't know if, I feel like Bananas and Natalie could have fought a little harder for Cara if they cared, and obviously they don't, which is fine. But according to him, to Bananas, Natalie and Cara-ish are the girls. He's got their back. I guess the point was she wasn't going to go in, so no one was
right. So it didn't even matter anyway.
Concession.
Honestly, Nelson just skated by this, and he looks really good because he didn't say anybody to name to piss them off enough to put a target on his back, because saying Cara was just there. She was just there as a pawn. So Nelson skates away without pissing anybody off.
And I think it was cool that they acknowledged that to Cara, that they said, look, you're not, we had to throw Nelson a bone, you're that bone.
She had to know. She looked pretty confident.
It was, but still, that's a jerky feeling. Again, it is what it is, no big deal.
But I had some thoughts on Natalie in this, because she, I feel like at this point, has promises with everybody. So she made a promise last week when Cam won to kill a Cam that her and her kingdom, she will save them as long as they save her back. But now that she's in the Troika, now she makes a agreement and an alliance, a promise to Jemmy and Cara that she won't throw them in. So now she has all these agreements, all these alliances, and then she drops, I want to drop a nuke on the Kayla, Cam, and Marie room, and also throw in Nicole into that mix. Nicole is the only one who she doesn't have an agreement with, so that makes sense. I think putting Nicole up is a great call, because nobody knows where she lies, nobody knows where she stands. She's kind of just the random person in the house that people have to keep an eye out for.
Right.
But I was under the impression that she made an agreement with Cam and Kayla that she wasn't going to throw them in, and now here she is trying to nuke them.
Right. Natalie seems to be making agreements with different people from episode to episode based on what happens. In terms of the making agreements, Kayla was hilarious. It's funny, the people that try and go gameplay and literally just look like when so Kayla goes up to Bananas and says, my guys are Zach, Tony, and Leroy. In her head, and I understand, in her brain, she's saying, so we're cool with the same people. Let's be cool. But it was funny watching him not even have the, it's like, boom, like
his
batting a
face
little.
during that was really funny. He's like,
well, hers.
that meme that's like this.
Like,
why would you tell me that, Kayla? I actually have to go and defend Kayla a little bit on this. Now, before you jump down my throat, I understand where she's coming from. I think Bananas jumped too quickly to the defense to go against her. Like, why would you tell me your alliance? Now I know that I'm not one of your top 3 guys, so now I'm worried that you're going to throw me in. Well, Bananas, Kayla's not one of your top 3 girls. And what she stated that Tony, Zach, and Leroy were her guys, meaning that you're associated with them, so you're kind of her guy.
No, I got it.
You're not the top tier in her alliance. So what she's saying is, I'm working with the same people you're working with. You're obviously not a threat to me. I'm obviously not throwing you in.
Right.
Bananas can back pocket that information and say, Kayla, now I know that you're not looking out for me as number 1. That's fine. I'll remember that when I need to, and I can throw you in and not feel bad about it. Now he has an excuse, but at the same time, he doesn't need to get so crazy about this because she's not number 1 to him. So they're never were in a stated alliance. So why does Bananas think that Kayla's gonna automatically necessarily have his back number 1?
I don't think that he thinks that at all. I just think it's just such bad gameplay. It's like, I'm going to show you my hand, which doesn't benefit you. Will you help me? Like, what? Which was funny to watch him just Godzilla her. He didn't, yes, he might have overdone. He didn't need to Godzilla like the little, the little city dweller. But it was funny to watch her. He was the, and she was the chirp, chirp. Like,
she was caught off guard. I felt kind of bad.
But I also, in a sort of side note, have to say, it sometimes takes me, like with Ashley, like a second season to come around, but I'm really enjoying Kayla this season.
Yeah?
I think she's
We're not even seeing her, is that why?
No, because she seems sincere. That's why she seems, now I'm like, oh, she's not like mean and a jerk. She's just sort of like loopy and silly. I'm like, oh, like I think Kayla's sort of spazzy and just like ditzy and spazzy as opposed to like this like aggressive person, which she came off as, because I do, again, whatever, back to this season. So yeah, man, it was some everyone high energy all around in this one. And then I felt bad for Marie, who was trying to save herself all over the place.
I actually thought that she had a really good idea with going to Bananas. She offered a great deal.
Right.
Like, I don't know if it's just me and I'm not good at this game, but I think her saying, if you give me who I want so I can win, I'll give you the grenade next time. You can tell me how you want me to use this grenade. I thought that was a great game.
But who did she want?
She wanted Kaylee and Nelson, Natalie. So Bananas is clearly great friends with Kaylee behind closed doors, which isn't that apparent yet, but it is very real. And Nelson is hooking up with Kaylee, and Natalie's just kind of cool with Kaylee, so no one wants to say her name.
Which we've never seen, which is weird. So I'm wondering, and Kayla said she's the layup. They're keeping her around as the layup. Is that true? Or does she have these relationships with people that we're not seeing? Because that's my other theory. Why wasn't it Kayla, Cam, and Nicole in there? Or if not Kayla, Cam, because Nelson, but why Nelson would rather have Kayla? Then Nelson doesn't get that many votes. Why didn't they have...
Nelson's only vote was Cara Maria instead of Cam. He wanted to protect Cam. That's the only reason why Cam wasn't in there. Bananas and Natalie wanted Cam in there.
They should have had Kayla... I don't know. Kayla.
I kind of could see Kaylee. I think people love her. She's really likable.
Kyla, and Nicole.
Kayla.
There's too many
Ks. Pam's getting extremely confused over here. I kind of like that Nicole was voted in, though. It ruffles some feathers, but seeing as Marie had this epic fail during the elimination, do you think Nicole would have done well at this because she sucks at puzzles? It seemed like an easy puzzle. It seemed like the hardest thing about this was getting out of the basket.
I mean, Marie lost real hard, so it's hard to say. I don't think the puzzle even had any bearing. And also, it looked like one of those like first grade puzzles with giant pieces, and there's only 8 of them. Like, I think getting out of, as you just said, getting out of the basket was the real challenge. Yeah. The puzzle was not some. It looked like literally 5 pieces that like of big bright colors that you put into a map. So
Nicole might have done
Nicole might have done fine. It was all about who got out of the basket first.
So we're going to have Leroy calling in like 5 minutes. So let's just, you and I, we're going to have him touch on this too, hopefully as well, if we have time, about what he thinks about Devin and that Bananas Devin rivalry. But just watching that, what do you think about how after this challenge, the voting system went down and how everybody voted in Devin rather than Bananas?
So I think that it was their opportunity to take back the power. I couldn't believe it. I get that Devin obviously doesn't have a lot of power. That was made clear in this vote. Or is it just fear-based? He's the king, that nobody wants to anger the king because he's going to come back and take all your sheeps and cows and stuff or whatever. Like, he'll tax you harder when he comes back. It is like that. I feel like he's a dictator almost of these things. Because he does so well, he's earned the dictatorship. So everyone's scared of him. I think they showed I would have liked to have seen the vote go the other way. Jemmye saying like, well, he saved me a lot, so Bananas.
I think that Jemmye is actually being smart, and she's using that as a fake facade, and she's really, what she's not saying is her new alliance with Natalie. And I think Natalie being attached to Bananas, Jemmye is kind of saying, oh, I'm kind of in this now. If I have Natalie's back, maybe Bananas will have mine back. So she is kind of playing smart, and she obviously can't say everybody, hey, everybody, well, I'm cool with Natalie now. Like, now we're going to save each other, and now Bananas is going to save me, so I'm not going to say Bananas' name. But I think that was okay for her to do, and it was tied 3-3 at that point. And she made it 4-3 in favor of Devin going in.
You know, okay, so that team was obviously designed to be the weaker team. So no matter what, even if they voted, I think everyone ultimately voted smartly. That is maybe not the time to flex that power, because anyway it shook out, you were going to be upsetting someone that was probably going to come back. It wasn't like, ooh, it's him. Like, it's if they knew the person he was going against was CT or Derek or Jordan, then maybe that'd be the time to make that, like, we're going to vote him in. This time, he was either going to be going against Nelson. The other choices for him to go against are going to be
Nelson, Leroy, his best friend,
or Devin.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 options.
Which he has a great chance of coming back.
A great chance of coming back. So I agree, ultimately, with all their moves, because you have to look out for, number one, even with Kaylee, who at that point shocked everyone, which great girl, you're your own independent woman. I hate
That's
when
my
it's
kind of thing too.
I agree. She made the smart. It's not like I'm gonna do what Nelson wants. I thought that was so dumb when everyone was anti Alicia because of Corey. It's like they're not one.
So
human.
Why are they attached, and why are Brad and Brittany attached at the hip? But now Nelson.
I mean, if you're like a power couple making moves together, like Brittany and Brad sort of are, and like Natalie and Johnny sort of are, I get it. But for her to do something that was gonna backfire on all of them, likely, and also was just smarter.
It comes back to it being tied again. What would have happened if she had voted for Bananas? It would have been tied 4-4. Then what happens? Does she have to pick somebody herself on the whim? Does the winning team get to pick? We don't know what was going to happen.
Know. It's a gamble.
Which is why she's saying, I can't take that risk, so I'm just going to vote for the person who has more votes, I guess.
Which I do think makes sense.
Which I think is smarter. I think that was kind of like Team Devin, and anybody who was pissed that Bananas didn't get voted in, blowing up the whole, well, her alliance with Nelson, how could she? How dare she? But sure, she's hooking up with Nelson a little bit. They're not dating for 5 years, engaged off the show.
Right.
At the end of the day, she's going to move back to UK. How much allegiance does she really have to give Nelson?
The guy she's hooking up with has a vendetta with
Bananas,
arguably the strongest player in the game and the leader of the game. It's fine for her to go under it's interesting. I want to point out, I like that she went under the radar and isn't making waves in that regard. She seems well liked, as opposed to with Brittany getting thrown in because of Brad. She doesn't seem to be taking flack because of Nelson, because he's not super popular amongst the guys.
Are we? Oh, we're gonna call
in a little bit. So
we're gonna call in Leroy.
My final conclusion on that is that there's a little bit of sexism. Like the girls get offered up as like sacrificial lambs when their male counterparts do something, but it doesn't seem the same when when the guys are not. It's not like, oh, I don't like Cara, so let's put Kyle in. It's like, but they expect I don't think the guys would expect Kyle.
Roy Lee, do we got him? What's up? Hi, Leroy.
Hello, how are you?
How are you doing tonight?
I am fine. I get all the way up in the corner.
Are you good? You setting up your framing? You got to get your filmmaker groove on.
Is that better?
We can see you.
I'm good if that's good with you. Oh, we can't see your shirt though. You got to represent your clothing line.
It's all right.
There he is. LG. He switched it up from the bathroom before we did a test call, and he was. I just want to let everybody know he's a very cleanly guy. He practices great hygiene. He was in there cleaning his ears with some Q-tips. So.
Yep.
All right.
LG to victory.
What'd you say?
I said LG to victory.
That's right. How are y'all tonight?
Good. We are doing good. I'm Pam. Nice to meet you. And Jenna, who you've hey.
Leroy is so chill.
So
we were just talking about the voting that happened at the challenge. Now everybody.
Am I supposed to be looking here, or am I supposed to be looking at the box?
Where your straight ahead was better.
That was good.
I think,
that was
right
good.
Here?
Other way.
Or right here.
That was good.
Right there.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right, cool.
Thank you.
Looks like you're gazing in our eyes.
This feels like I'm actually doing an interview on a challenge because you just got a camera in your face, but you can't see the world. They can only see you. So
we can operate that way if you're more comfortable
You're
that
just
way.
a zoo animal. We're looking at you through the glass. You can see the world, but they can't see you. We were just talking about the challenge. So kicking ass, this insane challenge when you guys are in these bubble balls and you're on these like moonshoe stilts going at each other. And then we were getting to the voting. But now that you're joining us, let's talk. We haven't gone through the entire challenge. We see you make your grand entrance through the tunnel. But that's all that we get. We get Leroy's back, but they don't say, like, if you're okay, what happened. So walk us through exactly what you remember happened, which I'm not sure is a lot.
You know what's crazy? Like, when I seen the episode last week, I was really upset because they really didn't show the severity of how bad the injury was.
It looks pretty bad.
They just showed me falling in the water, then me asking, like, if I won or whatever. When really, I was out for a while. And what happened was, they put lube on the cars. I don't think a lot of people knew that, but you know, they made it seem as if the car was the only one who had lube on her. They put lube all over the cars. So when I jump, I slip and I bust my face off the back of the car. And that's what. So as I was falling, I was already knocked unconscious.
My God.
Yeah.
So you don't remember anything in the air? You just hitting the water? You were out.
It was all real. Somebody, they did a after show or something, and some fan was saying that they thought that I was joking. Like, I mean, I wouldn't play like that. I don't even like heights.
No, yeah, it looked as a viewer though, where you're saying you couldn't tell, it was terrifying looking because you were you were floating there like you were dead. I mean, you could have been
that was my first
like
time seeing it too.
Yeah, it was really scary.
I was wondering how it was gonna play out, but I was in the hospital for 2 days.
Okay.
And basically they just checked me to make sure I didn't have a concussion because it wasn't my head I hit. Like I said, I think it was my face. Ooh. And I had water in my lungs, so that's what they was most concerned about. So that's what kept me, because I ended up passing out like 2 more times, I think, when I was in the back of the medical truck, and then when I got to the hospital. So I was just in there just praying, like, God, please, like, this sucks. Like, something always happens.
Right.
You know, whether it's my partner or whether it's me, I get sent home on some bullshit. So I'm thinking, like, I should just be happy to be alive, but I really wanted to get back into the game. So it was up to the doctor's discretion to say whether or not I could come back. And after 2 days of being in the hospital, they were like, all right, you're good. All the water is out of your lungs. Great. And then they brought me back into the game.
That's insane. So you mentioned the concussion factor of it. Is there a lot of stuff that you remember, or do you feel like you were kind of blacked out that entire time you're in the hospital?
No, I remembered it all. It was like me getting knocked out was more so of like somebody getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I didn't have a head injury. It wasn't my head that I hit. It was just getting hit on the button. And that's what ended up knocking me unconscious. So I was good. I remember doing the jump. I just couldn't remember whether or not what color cars I was on. I was still kind of confused. When you get knocked out, you kind of confused with what happens, but then I started piecing it all together. So I remember doing a jump, and I was excited about it because I knew that I would be able to make it. What they don't show is that they shut the whole challenge down. So Nelson and Zach went first, right? And remember how
Yeah.
Zach and them went through the windows? Well, they both bust through 2 windows, and they sent us all home because it was too dangerous.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know we actually had Bananas on last week, and he said the same thing. That was the first time in his entire career on the challenge that they actually shut a challenge down and said, go home, we'll pick this back up tomorrow.
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, man, maybe they're not going to have us come back and do this. And they did, and I was just like, wow.
So did you not even get to jump on that first day? Is that what you're saying?
Nope, I didn't even get a chance to jump. So Zach and them did it. Nelson had to go to the hospital. He got like 9 stitches in his legs.
Oh my God.
Zach had to get stitches in his armpit. It was all messed up.
Whoa.
But that's just part of being on the challenge. Like, I was really upset about it at first because I was thinking like, well, maybe they didn't test this out, and I was pissed. But at the same time, this is what I signed up for. We've done stuff that was way more dangerous than jumping on cars with lube. It's just that's just the things that can happen when you do the challenge.
And I remember for this one specifically, you had your interview beforehand where you were really excited. You were pumped for this, and you're terrified of heights. And you said, this is the one challenge I'm not absolutely deathly afraid of doing. But you were excited. Were you then mad at production for putting you guys in this kind of position, this such a dangerous challenge?
Yeah, because see, I didn't know there was gonna be when we walked up and we seen the cars. I was like, I seen the space that was in between. I'm like, cool, I can make it from each car, no problem. But at that point, I didn't know there was gonna be lube on there. You know what I mean? So when I found that out, I was pissed. Like, you know what? All right, this is a game, whatever, it's lube. But then once I started seeing people go and seeing how people was getting hurt and how they were falling, I was like, Lee, you got to make this jump. So, and then you know, throughout the whole game, you got to think. I don't know if I've been paying attention, but I haven't been on the winning team at all. I have $0 in my bank account. I don't got no money.
Well, it was amazing that your first words in consciousness were, how many cars did I get?
Yeah, I actually asked, I said, anybody contact my girlfriend? They're like, you don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah, your ex-girlfriend, Banana, said that.
Yeah, you guys broke up right before you got here. I was like, really?
What?
They're like, yeah, it was all bad.
So was that legit short-term memory? Like you thought, oh, my emergency contact, does my girlfriend know?
Yeah,
Or did you
for
really?
real. So I don't even remember saying that. I think that Kayla and the rest of the people were there would tell me that's what I was saying. So some of it I really don't remember what I was saying.
That's crazy. Well, we're so happy you were able to make it back, and you always
Thank
get the
you, me
short
too.
end of the stick, and you were able to finally get back to the competition. How did it feel, this being your return, playing this ridiculous kicking ass challenge? Was kind of reminded me of like the Champs vs. Stars challenges where they just throw in like a backyard drunk game. You guys were in, like, it was kind of a joke. It was hilarious.
I was just happy to be back, but I also was like, fuck, man. Like, as soon as I get back, I just had what they thought was a concussion. I was knocked unconscious. Now you about to put me on stilts where I'm like 9 feet tall and I could fall and hurt myself again. I'm just like, I can't win. Like, this is just, it's all bad.
Did you feel like you kind of hung back during the challenge for that reason then? Or, you weren't trying to knock into anybody?
So what's crazy is they let us practice on the stilts before we did it. And I was one of the best ones. Like, my balance was really good. I was bouncing around. Like, at that point, when you're in the hospital, and I say this all the time, you never really appreciate your health until it's gone. And I remember this when I first hurt my back, when I couldn't work out, I couldn't walk. And being in the hospital, when I was praying to God every night, I'm like, listen, if you let me back in this game, I'm going to just try to enjoy it a lot more, because I could have got sent home and that could have been it. Or anything could happen. I could have died. I could have got paralyzed. Who knows?
God.
So I was geeked. I was so happy to be back in the game.
Yeah. Who do you think was the best and the worst on stilts? You said you were the best.
Well, I was the best until we had to actually start competing and like kick
Why
the
is that?
actual ball. Because at that point, I didn't want to get hurt. And at first, Tony was the worst. Like, Tony could barely walk in.
Okay.
He like hurt his knee a bunch of times. Who else was pretty awful in him? Jimmy was terrible in
Jimmy
him.
wasn't even on her feet half of that damn
Yeah,
challenge. She
it
was
was
just
all
on the
bad.
floor rolling around.
It was all bad. I think at first Brad wasn't any good, and then they had like a really good squad. I knew from the way the teams were picked that we more than likely were going to lose. And I knew that if me and Bananas was on the same team, they were going to try to put us against each other. So I would get a lot of tweets and comments throughout the season of like, why would Bananas put you on the opposite team? Him and I both know that if we're on the same team and we lose, that everybody's going to try to vote us in against each other, because we're the only ones who have an actual legit real alliance,
Right.
to where we won't say each other's name. The rest of them is just kind of like they kind of play it by ear.
Right.
Like game alliances. You guys have the real friendship off the show.
Yeah, because I fuck him up if he tried to say my name.
Well, that's good then that you brought that up, because we were actually talking before. Again, we don't want to dive too into this because this is all old news about the Bananas and Sarah thing. But Pam had a good question about if it was you two in this kind of situation.
Right. There's the all is fair in love and challenges, etc. Would you, if money was on the line, betray? Do you think he would betray you?
What?
Would you betray him if it came down to money and it was you versus him?
I wouldn't do that to anyone, to be honest. Like, unless you took money from me, which is basically, because the money was never Bananas on X's too, but she actually was in an alliance with him and made him all these promises and then screwed him over at the end. So anytime I've had a rival, which I don't even know how, they always make up any random thing for me to be on the
He
show.
doesn't like you.
I wouldn't have done it, but if someone took money from me, then of course I would have. It's just like a lot of it too, especially if it's another guy. Like, you got to see this person outside of the show. I just took $100 grand from you. You might try to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
but I feel that Sarah got exactly what she deserved. A lot of people don't feel that way because they hate Bananas so much that they can't see what really happened. But after he did it, he called me and was like, "Yo, man, I just got done with the final. I just took all this money from Sarah," and I was like, "Good for you, bro. Like, it was payback."
Well,
Damn,
now-
Leroy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yours.
Now had she not did that to him, and they wouldn't be rivals. He would have to have another girl. So I couldn't say whether he would do it. I hope that he wouldn't.
Right.
That would be. I don't even know if I could really be cool with him if he did that to
Right.
someone and they didn't take money from him. It's like, damn, man, you really don't have a soul.
But you wouldn't be fearful of him doing it to you if you guys were partnered up for, let's say, the challenge best friends.
No, I wouldn't be fearful. I wouldn't be fearful of anybody doing it to me because
Because you're the
I
best.
literally would fight him.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a
that
fair
would be
answer.
that would be with anybody. Like, because a lot of times when you're rivals, say if you hate each other, I think that my biggest rival in the game probably would have been Wes. And when you start working together for so long throughout the season, you guys actually become cool.
Right.
So, at that point, you've done all these challenges together, you won together, now you made it to the final, and then boom, you take the money from me. It's like, wait a minute.
Right.
So I'd definitely be upset. I don't think that they would ever allow me back on the show again. 'Cause I would hurt somebody.
Which genuinely surprises me because you've never gotten into any physical. I mean, you're pretty chill. Like,
So
you've never.
Yeah. But
Your
I mean,
temperament is
100,000.
Right.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd beat it.
Fair.
I want to go back to then this kicking ass challenge, because you're on the losing team, which you knew was going to happen, and then this voting goes down. You think this entire time they're going to peg Bananas in and then peg you against him. Didn't work that way. Do you think people got scared last minute? Did you feel relieved? Because everybody jumped right on the Devin ship towards the end. Or were you shocked by Kaylee's decision to not say Bananas' name?
You know what? At that point, I figured it was going to be between me and Bananas, but I also thought that if they voted Bananas in, then they would try to put actually, I did think they were going to put me in, but I had no idea what the girls were going to do. At that point, I didn't even care.
No?
I wasn't scared anymore, because a lot of times, like, you come to the game, it's so close to the end that you don't want to go in. I definitely wouldn't want to go in against him, against one of my friends, but if I had to, it would be like whatever. But it sucked for Devin because he really wanted to go against Bananas really bad. He really wanted to see him go in there.
So, again, I want to get your thoughts then on Devin in this house, because there's mixed reviews, whether his manipulation is working. He has his game plan to take out Bananas. So you being in the house, what are your thoughts?
Devin really isn't manipulating anybody. What happened tonight, what I watched was the fact that the cards actually just fell in his hand.
Right.
You feel me? So we had no idea what the teams were going to be. No one had any idea that Kayla was going to pick the teams the way she did. Like, I just came back into the game. I didn't even know that Marie had got sent home until I got to the challenge. I was in the hospital. So I guess I would have to say it's probably like the power of editing, because he didn't really do anything. Nothing worked in his favor. If he was manipulating the game, then the girls would have voted his way. So everything right now isn't going in Devin's favor, because he wanted Bananas to go in so Bananas could go against me, and now he's the one that's going into the elimination round. And their beef, I mean, Devin has these reasons why he don't like Bananas, which I understand. Bananas always wins. And he always finds some way to make it to the final, and he always finds some ways to get some votes. So I could see how that could be annoying. But I don't think that Devin is like a mastermind behind the game, because he hasn't he's going into the elimination round now. If Bananas was the one that was going in, I would say, damn, man, like, Devin, you did a really good job.
Yeah. Even still, we were discussing it before he joined us. Even if he got the votes to go in Bananas' favor, we were saying we sort of understand why everyone caved.
If you got the votes to go in Bananas' favor, I wouldn't be going in, I don't think.
Right, exactly. And then everybody would have been kind of screwed.
I think it would be him because Tony and Zach.
Right.
Well, I was working with Zach the whole season.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which what they don't show.
Yeah, I didn't
and then
know
Kayla, I was like her number 3 guy, whatever. I asked Kayla where I'm going, her little pecking order.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, it's Tony, Zach, then it's you. So if those 2 guys are already safe, then you're definitely not going to want to say my name.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's funny. We saw Kayla kind of announce that to Bananas earlier in the episode. What do you think about that? Because I was kind of defending Kayla a little bit because I see where she's coming from. She's letting Bananas know I'm working with the same guys as you, or this could be really dumb.
I mean, well, in the game, you just can't work with too many people because Kayla told, like, people see me vote, say Kayla's name. I think it was the last episode of the Puppet Challenge, but basically what that was a burn vote. So when all the names was coming towards me, I was like, all right, Kayla, I'm gonna say your name, but this is a real burn vote. That's how a burn vote.
A real burn vote,
right?
Not what Brittany did, the season before, and say my name at the beginning. So I had to count the votes, and then make sure that I was able to say Kayla's name, and she wouldn't get any votes.
Right.
But for tonight, I didn't actually even see that part. I didn't start watching the episode until like the end of Marie's elimination round.
Oh, what? So you haven't even seen half of it? That you haven't seen what's aired?
I've seen the end of the elimination round where Marie was coming out of the
there's a lot of girl action before
I've been
then.
seeing commercials of Kayla talking to. I mean, I did the show, so I knew exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how it pans out.
Yeah, so a lot of it's like I don't need to watch, but.
So then, since we're not seeing like a whole lot of you, except for you being pretty hysterical with making fun of people like Brad and who else have you impersonated?
Cool. I felt bad because they showed me sometime in the season at the beginning saying how annoyed I am about him and Brittany, and I was, but it was more so of like you just get tired of seeing people play kissy face, but it wasn't for where like I hated him or I wanted to see him go home. Like Brad, that was my first time actually meeting him, and he was super cool. And I don't have a lot of people come up to me in public like, oh my God, I hate Brittany and I hate Veronica for whatever they did to you.
Right.
I mean, I love both of them. There's really no bad feelings. I just knew that what helped me out in this game was because of the fact that they did me so dirty that the girls felt bad about it. So that's why they were sticking to, well, I'm never going to say Leroy's name, but I don't have to do anything because they feel like they owe me one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw that a couple of episodes ago. You were like, girls, I'm going to not say your name. Remember this? And it was perfect.
You're the type of player who seems to have, I don't know, an alliance, a friendship with everybody. Like an alliance with everybody and alliance with no one.
Well, no one dislikes you. I mean, you're pretty likable.
I'm gonna just put this out there. There's something that's gonna happen. To where it will change the way I play the game forever.
What?
If I ever do another challenge again, the way I play will be totally different because of something that happened that I'm so passionate about, and I really can't wait to speak about it when we do the reunion. But it's just like,
whoa!
I just felt whatever that happened to me, I didn't deserve.
Oh my goodness!
I wonder what could honestly possibly happen, because we've seen you go through what could be the worst of being on this type of show, like with Camilla last season.
Yeah.
And you being so forgiving and taking that with so much grace, and now for you to say this.
It was like it. What happened this time? I wanted to fight. Like you'll see. I'm under contract, so I can't put out there. When you watch it, you're just gonna be like, "Fuck, man."
Roy Lee never loses his cool, man.
Yeah. So this is something that happened that would potentially carry into future seasons with the way you play the game. So we were saying, "Oh, you're so cool, you're so chill, you don't really have any enemies," and you're saying, "Well, that sort of changes at the end of this." To summarize,
100%.
I know you can't say, but
no,
so you made some vendettas.
Man, I look out for a lot of people while I'm there. I am like the voice of reason all the time. I'm always, people come to me for advice, and then when the certain love isn't reciprocated back, it's kind of like, and this season was just like a valuable lesson because you always expect, like say if someone was to, if someone was to leave their wallet on the table, I would never steal it. That's just not in my mind. But if I was to leave my stuff and someone stole it, I'm like, damn, don't people think like me? What I learned is everybody doesn't think the way that I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And
Okay,
if
so I'm
they
gonna
did-
make a prediction here. A guy steals Cam from you.
There's no guy. There's no guy that can steal any woman from me.
You heard it here first,
I love
guys.
it. Yeah, because we're
I
seeing
agree,
stuff with
yeah.
Cam, but we're not seeing a whole lot. But we're seeing stuff in the outside world. What's going on with that?
With Cam is actually really cool, man. I love Cam to death. I don't know what they've shown on TV thus far.
Not too much.
So I can't really give away.
But everybody has
what
their
the-
speculations. But that's my bold
Yeah.
prediction. You're talking
Yeah.
about somebody stealing wallets, somebody trying to steal your girl, but no one can steal Leroy's.
Yeah, yeah, but no, it's definitely not that. It has nothing to do with stealing the girl from me. No.
Okay,
And Cam doesn't belong to me.
Also,
Messing
it is
with you.
interesting. That has been, even in keeping with you seem low key, even that has been so, you and Cam, maybe hooking up has been so under the radar on the show. They're not making a thing of it. That the only reason we even know is someone was talking about that, with the note, figuring out they're like, and Cam's always going into
Up to Leroy's room.
And I was like, wait, she is?
Well, if it was-
they literally don't show you guys kissy facing or doing anything like that. So it must
Well, if it wasn't
me and
Cam, it
Cam-
was going to be Joss, right? Because I saw on
You
your
say what?
Instagram. If it wasn't Cam, it was going to be Joss, right? Because I saw on your Instagram live you were starting to get the hots for Joss with his
Listen,
shirtless
man.
walking around.
gloves, sunglasses.
Listen, I literally had to question myself of my sexuality when I seen him walk around. I said, "Damn, man, you look like a Barbie doll." Like,
Yeah.
He really looked good. And I spent some quiet time with him. I said, "Listen, man, if I like dudes, man, you might be the type of guy." No, but Josh was actually cool with Cam and I. Cam actually came out here to visit maybe like a month ago. So I guess the question is, people want to know if we're dating or
There it is. You said it.
we're not dating.
Okay, you're cool.
Yeah, no, we're not dating. No, we're just friends.
Okay,
Okay.
sweet.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
Cam and I are just
That's
but
fair,
We
but
did spend a lot of time together while there, and they haven't shown any of it. I don't know why, which is fine with me. But it wasn't to where we were like hooking up or anything like that. I literally had just broken up with my girlfriend 2 months before I got there, so I wasn't trying to get into another relationship. But it was
Right.
also good to be able to hang around someone of the opposite sex.
Sure.
You feel what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and I was just basically honest with her, like, listen, this is the situation I'm in, and we kept it like that.
Right.
So with these mercenaries coming in, which we saw last episode, of course, the challenge always got to pull out this twist. I'm
Yeah.
sure were you even surprised? I mean, this stuff kind of always happens. And then did you think that was the last of them? Like, okay, we've had this happen once. We're not going to see anybody else.
The first time that it happened, I was surprised. I didn't think they were going to bring anybody. And then at this point, once it happens, like, all right, they're going to do it again. And I was happy that it was Derek that came, because a lot of times if they were to bring other people in, we thought that they would let the other person win so this person can stay in the game. If they sent me to go against Bananas, I'm going to obviously probably let them win because I don't want to see him go home. So when Derek came and Derek went against Josh, we were begging him, like, please, man, like, send this fool home,
Right.
please. And I knew that he would. I just didn't know that Josh was going to put that good of a fight.
Dude,
He
Josh
did. He's a beast. He's not just a pretty boy. He is actually a monster.
More
He
about him to
seriously
love.
is a beast. We
Yeah.
want to give love to some of our fans who tweeted in some questions. Who would be your top 3 guys and 3 girls you'd like to have as a partner?
Can you still see me? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Somebody-
you froze
Dario.
for a second, but you're back.
You're good. This was
Yeah,
from
Dario was calling me. I'm sorry.
Dario.
Oh,
Was?
hi, Dario.
Tell that fool to get off the phone. We've had him on before. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah, he's actually supposed to be on his way over here. I can't answer this, can I?
Wait, what's up?
He's
He
calling.
wants
He's
to
supposed to
answer
be
the
coming up to my
phone.
house to pick up something.
I wonder if you can. Tony, can we get both of them on?
Well, he's on his...
He's on the phone right now.
I'm not sure, to be honest with
No, I'm just not going to answer.
Okay,
because
we might
I
have to
don't know.
dodge Dario
stick
for a
to
second.
Yeah, Dario's going to have to wait. We'll stick to
Oh,
the...
sorry. That would have been cool to have both you guys on. We'll have to call you.
But he's
tell you to
Skyping
call
from
in
his
again.
phone, so that might
Yeah,
get...
he's probably about to come over to my house.
Oh, well, then it would be
what?
perfect.
All right, well, we only have like a minute left for you anyway, but I just want to give, we had a fan, Brittany Johnson, she tweeted us a whole bunch of questions, so let's go with one of them was, ultimate, your top 3 guys or top 3 girls you'd like to be partnered with ever, past, present, future, in one of the challenges.
If I could be partnered with any girl, I would like to be partnered with Naya again,
Ah, okay.
100%. I definitely would like to be partnered with Cam, and I want to be and another girl that I can say that I get along with. I actually would like to be partnered with Nani.
Yes.
Yay,
Nani.
Nani.
Going back to your Las Vegas Real World days.
Yeah, I like. Hopefully, Nani can come back and.
Hopefully.
Yeah, Nani. For the guys, of course, Bananas. I feel like I just watched Fear Factor. They just replayed that we won. Him, I would like to be partnered with. Wes.
Nice.
Oh.
And I would say CT, but I think that would be too easy of a win. I would like to also be partnered with.
Why not take
actually
it?
Not, because I still struggle with swimming. So I can't say that. And I honestly would like to be repartnered again with Ty. I don't know if I remember Ty.
Of course.
That was
yeah.
Wait, which season was that?
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, because me and Wes used to be really beefed out, and I feel like our relationship is a lot better now. So I think that I would get a chance to know him a little better if we were partnered up. Because him and I, we really don't speak too much whenever we film.
Yeah.
Well, and he's good at swimming, so the
There
two
you
of you
go.
would be an unstoppable duo, like
There's
the
your
Super
yin and
Friends.
yang. There it is. While we brought up Nani and Las Vegas Real World, I had a question actually I was thinking before. Do any of you guys talk to that kid Adam at all? Or how about Mike?
Yeah,
I know you were boys with Mike on the show.
He's living out in, I think he lives in Manhattan Beach or Hermosa.
What? He's around here.
Adam?
Yeah, I spoke to him not too long ago. He's good. He's like, I think he's in law school. Totally different than what they showed on the Real World. I mean, now, see, I'm about to be 33, so he has to be almost 30.
Wait, so you're telling me Adam, get drunk and fight everybody, has a kid, and he's going to law school in Hermosa Beach in California?
Huh.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I don't know if he's going to school in Hermosa. I know he's living out there. I know that he is studying. He is in law school. He could almost be about to be done. And right after our Real World, I mean, that he immediately just changed who he was. Good guy. I love him.
Wow.
I have nothing bad to say about him, but he was crazy.
He was crazy on. He was like the one everybody loved to hate on that show. But
I hated him.
Yeah. That was.
How about Mike? Do you ever keep up with Mike?
I haven't talked to Mike in probably like a month. He had a baby. He got married.
Jeez, Leroy, I guess you're the only one missing out, right? You got to get on.
I know. Don't speak. I thought I was gonna get married, and then me and my ex broke up. So no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's just shit happens.
That is crazy. From Real World Las Vegas to just all these new parents.
Yeah, I still live here. I live in Las Vegas.
And had you lived there prior, or did you discover Las Vegas after the Real World?
After the Real World, so I came here probably a year after filming, and I've been here 6 years now.
Oh, wow.
Dang, good for you.
I ain't going nowhere. I love it.
You do?
Love it. All right, well, so while we're about to wrap up, so let everybody know, I see you're rocking your clothing line. I know you're also in barbershop school. Let everybody know what's going on in Leroy's life right now.
Yes, long overdue. People don't know that I've been cutting hair for over 15 years. I probably cut every male's hair on the challenge since day one. I am the challenge barber, so any fresh cuts you see on TV by any of the cast members was done by me.
That's awesome.
I finally decided that I needed to go ahead and get in barber school. CT has been telling me to do this forever. So I'm in barber school now. It's like a 9-month course. It's 40 hours a week. It's a grind.
Wow.
I came up with this new clothing line called Lifted and Gifted. These are my initials, Leroy Garrett. I know you see the weed symbol. It doesn't just mean getting high. It just means being high up for life and having high aspirations to do things. Just good vibes. I just started an Instagram. My Instagram is Roy Lee the Barber. Follow me on there, and then the link for the Lifted and Gifted apparel is on there. You can also go on there, and then I reactivated my Facebook, and I'm on Twitter, Bruce Lee _85. I never really was that big into social media. I used to hate it, but now that I have this platform with the barber, it makes it easier for me to use it.
No, that is awesome. You got a lot of great stuff going on. Proud of you. Congratulations on everything.
Barbering has been a passion of mine for a long time, and I'm happy doing it.
And I can't wait until we get the hookup with Lifted and Gifted, right? I know you're going to send us some great stuff, right?
I'll send you whatever I want. Now, main focus is just barbering. People ask me all the time, are you ever going to come back to do the show? I honestly can't even answer that.
Really?
Okay.
It really just depends on how I feel. Once I'm done with school, my clientele may be too big. I might have to say no to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Cut too many hairs out there.
Well, maybe they'll just employ you as the, on-set stylist.
There you
for hair.
The on-deck stylist.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is great to get your insight. Very happy for everything you got going on. All positive love going on in your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much, and pay very close attention to what's about to happen.
I cannot wait.
Honestly,
I'm
very excited for this bombshell you just dropped on
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it's
All
about
right.
to get good. I thought this episode was one of the better ones. This is really good.
Yeah. All right, go get Dario, who's waiting outside for you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you,
Thank you
Leroy.
so much.
Pleasure to have you on.
All right.
Thanks so much. Bye. I know you can't see us. We're waving.
I know, we're waving
Bye.
it.
I don't think he can see us that entire time, but glad that we got to see him and glad that all of you guys got to listen in on Leroy's take. And hopefully we got to ask some of your questions. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, that was episode 9, Basket of Deplorables on the Challenge Vendettas. We got episode 10 coming up next Tuesday, same time, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Think we have a guest. I won't announce it until it's absolutely confirmed. So, this is a great segue, a great plug for my Twitter. So if we get the guest, follow me on Twitter and I'll tweet out as soon as he's confirmed. He's going to be a good one. That's in the books, Jenna_Bussiere. And see you guys next time. Make sure Pam gets everything in here.
I'm Pamela Gross-Jill. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Please do. Love to interact with you after. And for our fans out there and Leroy's fans that tweeted questions that we didn't get to tonight, we're so sorry. We did write them down and we just ran out of time. So we will ask him and tag you guys in the Twitter so that we can get those answers for you. Thank you guys for asking them. Yeah, we can do that.
You can do that, Pam.
I'll do
you
that.
can totally do
I
that.
will do this.
I'm very looking forward for you doing that.
Awesome.
All right, thank you guys so much.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.